So you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur and you're trying to grow your business. In this video, I'll share the key KPIs that every business owner should know before even starting their business venture. I'll also help you to understand how these key KPIs work together to help you reach and surpass your goals a lot faster. Hi folks, my name's Chris, and on this channel I help people with career and personal development. If you like stuff like that, subscribe. If you don't. Before I go any further, I should quickly qualify my background and ability to speak on this topic as broad as it is. Since the mid-90s, I've owned small businesses in the beauty industry. In the early days, I couldn't grasp why I never felt profitable. There was money coming in, but I had no idea where it was going at the end of the month, or really, even what should I be shooting for as a goal to attain. At some point, I was introduced to the best practices for growing and running a profitable small business. And in 2006, I started to teach those same principles to people. Since then, I've taught them to thousands of people around the world, and I've even authored a book on this topic. Having just a few years being outside of that bubble, I've realized that growing a production company uses the same exact principles. It turns out that these principles apply to almost every business where you have a client and a product to sell. In this video, I want to pass that knowledge on to you. Now, to break into the info, I want to illustrate that there are two categories that I personally think about when growing a business. The first one is people, and the second one is performance. I'll talk a little bit about what I mean here. I define people as your target client, especially if you're in the planning stages. You want to get really clear on who are they? How many of them do you need inside of your business, like on a regular basis, to become financially successful? How often do they need to come back or buy from you again? How will I attract new clients? And if I categorize these people, I call them your clientele, and I break them up into different categories. Now again, I didn't make this stuff up. It's been out there forever. But once I got taught this, it made a huge impact on my business and my income, and of course my lifelong ability to be able to jump to a completely different career and just grow, do it all over again. So once you've kind of philosophized about who your target client is and who your product is reaching and who it's actually for, now you want to start to break it down into different categories. So people are coming in and out of your doors all the time, but they're not all the same. So some people are brand new to you. This is a new client. This is somebody that just either happened upon you, or maybe you're running ads, they saw your ad. Maybe you have a storefront. They're driving by your store, they saw a sign, they popped in. The second type of client is a repeat client or a retained client. This person has been to your business before or had your service before, and they've come back. They needed it again. The reality is, for a lot of businesses, like maybe you have a small coffee shop or a hair salon, your repeat business is really the lifeblood of your business. So the next is a referral client. And this is usually because your service is so good that people want to tell their friends about you. Hey, go check this place out. There's this business in my neighborhood that's absolutely full all the time. I go there and take my dad there for lunch, and it's completely word of mouth. Everybody in the neighborhood knows about it, and they're just getting constant referrals. They keep people. It's just a happy place to be. Right down the road from that, there's another business that I always see the parking lot is empty. Same deal. They serve food. Apparently it's very similar, but for whatever reason, the one place has done a better job getting people to talk about them and growing the hype. That new client or that referral client or customer, whatever you call them in your business, your industry, your goal is to turn them into a repeating customer. And then the last category of people is reservations or future reservations. Now, what does this mean? So in the hair salon world, this is really typical language, but there are a lot of other businesses that this might apply. Like, let's say an oil change place, or maybe you change tires, maybe you're a mechanic. How soon does that person need to come back to you in order to keep your business running? So again, this is where your customer makes a future appointment before they leave your office and the appointment has ended. In the case of a hairstylist or massage therapist, they call this pre-booking. It's pretty standard industry language. It might be the most important strategy that can have a really direct effect on your regular client count and gross income. The sooner your retained customers come back and buy again, the more you'll earn from less clients over time. And I'll show you a little bit of math here. Let's say you run a coffee shop and you have regulars. I would call this a repeat and retained client. But let's say you only see your regulars one time per week, which would be really bad for a coffee shop. You would need 80% more clients, customers, than if your repeat clients came back in 5 times per week. This is called frequency of visitation or frequency of purchase. It may be the number one most important KPI that every business should really be keeping a handle on. Now, depending on the price of your service and your cost to deliver it, the goals that you set for each of these will differ. For example, if you're selling donuts and coffee and you have an average purchase amount of $4 and it costs you $1,000 a week to run your business, then you have to sell to 250 customers per week just to keep the doors open. And only after that 250 first sale do you make $1 of profit. On the other hand, let's say you're a massage therapist and you're doing $90 massages and it costs you that same $1,000 to keep your doors open and then you're profitable. Well, if you're doing $90 massages, then on the 11th client, you're profitable. So again, depending on your business model, your cost of doing business, as well as your cost per service, it's going to vary. But those numbers, those KPIs are all going to be the same. How many people are coming in through the door, making a purchase, and coming back on a regular basis, and sending people, telling people about you. And again, some business models, one that comes to mind, like the car wash, they want you on that repeat deal. So a lot of times they'll set up a subscription model, which has become obviously hugely popular nowadays. Again, another thing that I'm seeing a lot of small businesses do. With all that big rant said, those client KPIs are never going to change. Not to totally deep dive here, but understand that these are arbitrary examples, and every business has a different break even on its fixed and variable expenses. But we'll save that for a completely different video. Hey guys, I'm wondering, are you an entrepreneur and have a different method of measuring your business? I'd love to hear about it. Or tell me if you think mine are a complete hoax. Hey, I'm always down for a discussion. Leave it in comments below. Let's start a conversation. And if you're liking this content but haven't pulled the trigger yet on starting your own thing, check out this video I made on changing my career in my late 40s. I want you to know I believe anyone can make this jump into something new. Okay, so do you remember in the beginning of the video I said there were 2 different categories that I categorized my business into. One was people and the next is performance. So we've covered people. Now let's talk about performance. So what do I mean by performance? Well, another way to say this could be your product, your service, your sales, and your skills. To make it easy, these are measurables. So product sales if you're selling hard products. Service sales if you sell services like maybe coaching or massage therapy, personal training, hair services, CPA services perhaps, etc. Another part of performance is pricing. Pricing is a huge deal. You see, in the world of hard products, where there may be pre-existing set standards in pricing what your product is, in a lot of business models, you have to decide the demographic. For example, when I started my video company, I had to decide what price range I put myself in. So you decide the demographic that you want to hit, and this can range greatly. Think of the cost of a mattress at Big Lots versus the cost of a mattress at Tempur-Pedic. Do you want to be on the higher side of the price in your existing market? This is quality over quantity. Or do you want to be on the lower side of the price in your existing market? This is quantity over quality. So then you would try to distribute that thing for the lowest possible cost. Okay, I get it. It's a bit more sophisticated than that, but you get the picture. To deep dive a little bit more on pricing, if you're watching this video, you might be a small business owner, solopreneur, or maybe you're just thinking about starting a business. In every case, I've found that you and we are the worst at pricing our actual product. Why do I say that? Most solopreneurs and small business owners undervalue themselves and spend the rest of their years in business trying to keep up with the economy. But have you ever noticed there are a few people in your same niche, in your same town, that thrive? They're outdoing everybody else. Many times, it's simply the fact that they've aligned themselves with the right price demographic. Think of the sales equation as how many units sold times price of the unit equals sales. So again, if you could sell 20 massages per week, and we're going back to that $90 price range, 20 times $90 equals $1,800 in sales. But if you sold those same 20 massages for $110, 20 times 110 equals $2,200 in sales. If you did the same 20 clients, the only variable was the pricing, and you went up $400. So when you're pricing yourself in the market, choose wisely. For most small businesses, I hate to say this, it's a race to the bottom, and that's why they struggle so much. 90% of businesses close their doors within the first, I think it's 2 years that they open. Usually it's because they didn't understand their cost of doing business versus their pricing, and of course they didn't have a strategy for gaining and keeping new clients. But again, that might be another video. So here you can see all the KPIs work together. I need to attract and retain buyers for my business. I have to have something desirable to sell them that has value to that specific person, and you've priced it properly so you can make an income and thrive. Once you understand this fully, it will be way easier to meet, understand, and exceed your sales goals, and it'll help you create the strategies to make that happen. Now here's one cold hard fact. Sales does not equal profit, but it is really helpful, and that's an entirely different video for another time. For now, just getting an understanding of what your key performance metrics are, your KPIs, your key performance indicators for your business, following them and evaluating them will help you immensely to move forward. I once had a friend who used to say, business is simple, but it's definitely not easy. Much of the struggle that we have is getting ourselves to follow through on the strategies that already exist. So if you liked this video and it was helpful, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button so you never miss a new video when I post on Fridays. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.